what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thanks so much for taking a little bit of time in your day to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. In today's video, I'm going to be doing magic things that I want. This is part 2 of this video. I will list part 1 in the description bar below. But basically, I just get to be a princess for however long this video is. I should have brought in my tiara. My mother-in-law bought me a tiara for my for my wedding weekend, and like it's probably the most extra thing that I own, but I absolutely love it. I have the cats in here. I don't know how it's going. It is what it is. If I have to kick them out, it's cool. Okay. So, but if you hear weird, obscure noises, it's definitely them being psychopaths. So, without further ado, let's hop into this video. Okay, the first thing that I would really love to have is core sets to come back. I don't know what it is about core sets, but I just have always really enjoyed them. I feel like they're a really great, like, beginner set to get accustomed to playing Magic. There also tends to be, like, some reprints that go into core sets. Origins, I would say, which I know was the last one for a little bit, and then they brought them back, and then they discontinued them again. I really just don't understand what's going on. I don't know. But I really enjoyed core sets. I thought they offered like a ton of different aspects of the game. They were much more user-friendly, I would say, than some of the other sets because they tended to have a lot more like easy mechanics, such as like base power flying, a 1/1 flying creature, like things like that. There tended to be a lot less keywords in the sets, or like the keywords were just a lot easier to understand. And overall, I just really miss core sets. I wish that they would totally come back, but I would really like to know what you guys think. Were you guys a huge fan of core sets? Do you miss them? Do you think that they should come back? What do you guys think? Okay, number 2. Okay, this is like a super stupid point, and I understand that this is me being so petty right now. Like, I feel like, hi. Hey, this is like not the best spot for you right now. At interruption numero uno. Okay, so number 2, I understand that this point is very petty. Like, I understand how silly this point is, that no one else probably feels the same way. But I hate when the power and toughness of a creature is like weird. And I feel like I need to give you an example of this. When, oh my god, Zelda, you need to leave. Leave. Goodbye. 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 When the base power and toughness is weird. I'm not talking like a 2-3 or a 3-4. I'm talking like a 1-6. Why? Who sat down in the creative department and was like, you know what we need? We need a creature that has 6 toughness, but only 1 power. Why? Can't things be more equal? It really bothers me. There are like cards that I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool. And then I see the power and toughness and I'm like, never mind. And then I won't run it because it has a weird power and toughness. I understand that I'm probably the only person alive who thinks like that. Totally fine, but that's just something that I hate, and I would like it for more things to have a more equal base power and toughness, okay? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Point number 3, okay. I feel as though Magic cards have gotten to the point where they don't look like Magic cards. There will be pictures, for examples. There is no amount of money that you could pay me to convince me that these are Magic cards. There's nothing. And I think the big point here is that's not to say that a lot of these cards are not beautiful and the art is not stunning, but they don't look like Magic cards. I want Magic cards to look like Magic cards. And truthfully, we've gotten to the point where some of these things just don't even, like, they look like they belong in a completely different universe or a completely different game. And I just feel like we've taken it so far and I'm over it. And I just want cards to look like cards again. Is that like a lot to ask for? Because I feel like that's not a lot to ask for. And I feel as though we just need to get on that train again. Okay? Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Number 4, I really miss old school timestamps. So I haven't been at a Magic set, like a set unboxing pre-release weekend, there are words, in a really long time since quarantine happened. And I feel as though the way that the timestamps used to work is it would say something like 28 October 2015, and it would have that. And now we have like this like planeswalker symbol. And I don't care for it. I really, really wish that we would get to the point where Zelda, you need to leave. Go away. Go away. Lord, it is usually Leia that is in the way, but Zelda is just having a moment today. Okay, don't know what's gotten in the water this morning with this one. But now they have like the Planeswalker symbol, and I could be wrong, maybe they still do the old school things, but a lot of times, like the new Planeswalker symbol that they have, and truthfully, there's nothing wrong with the Planeswalker symbol. To me, it's just very large, and it looks very awkward in cards, and I don't understand it. Obviously, there will be a picture here for reference, but I just am not a fan. I wish that they would just do away with the Planeswalker symbol on cards, and I'm not a fan. I just think it looks really, really tacky on cards, and I don't think it looks good at all. So I wish that they would go back to like old school timestamps. Maybe they do both, and maybe that's how I'm thinking correctly, but I'm just not a fan. That's just old school timestamps. That's the way that it is. You all know I'm a little biased because I like timestamps, but okay. This is a big one. Point number 5. Secret lair distribution. Okay. Truthfully, I feel as though I could do a whole video at this point about my feelings towards Secret Lair. But I feel as though I say it in so many videos where I think I would just be really redundant at this point. But just to give you the too long didn't read version, the way that Secret Lair is distributed is incredibly cheap, I guess is the best word that I could use to describe it, because it cuts out small businesses. And the last time I checked, this is the process. I'm assuming that it hasn't changed, where basically they give a very limited amount to game stores, and basically they sell it directly through Wizards of the Coasts. And I think that's just very money hungry and incorrect. And I wish that local game stores got more of a chance to sell those products prior to them, and like instead of like Wizards just saying we're going to sell them, it's like, what, you have a lot of money. I do not understand this, you know what I mean? It just seems very silly to me. And I also think there's other huge issues too with like price gouging. Is that the correct word? Price gouging, where they can look at the secondary market and acknowledge the secondary market, which is another really large problem. And yeah, it's just I have nothing wrong with the idea of printing cards of different arts. There's a lot of times I actually enjoy a lot of the art in Secret Lair, but there's also the combat that there's the point that some of those cards don't even look like Magic cards. And yes, I am going to be doing a Secret Lair ranking. I just have to find the mental capacity to film that video because it will probably take hours. But anyways, I want to do a whole, and we're going to roast all the Secret Lairs. It's going to be super fun. Maybe that'd be better like a live stream. I feel like that'd be a good live stream video. Has like a lot of potential to do really well. I just don't like the fact that they're cutting out LGSs. You know what I mean? Just not about it. And some of the art is questionable at best. Okay, and the last point, number 6, is we have gone back to Zendikar. Please leave. Okay, how many times can we go back to Zendikar? Has anyone counted at this point? At least 374. Like, I am so bloody over going back to Zendikar. I want to go back to other things. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there are other planes other than Zendikar. My biggest thing, and Innistrad too, like, I really love Innistrad as a plane, and these last 2 recent sets have just not done it for me. And here's like my thing is like, there's nothing wrong with going back to planes. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, can we have space between when we go back to planes? I talked about this in another video too, where I think it should be like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before we go back to a plane, in my personal opinion. I think 5 years is even too soon, which I might sound like pretty wild, but I think there needs to be more of a gap, and I think that would make the sets more special and enjoyable. And I feel like there's, first off, other planes that are new planes that we could go to. And number 2, there are planes that we haven't been to in a really long time, like Alara. I would love to go back to Alara. Paul really wants to go back to New Phyrexia. I don't really care about New Phyrexia at all. But, like, that would be better than going back to Zendikar again for the 781th time. Like anyone else, I'm just over it. I really am. I just think we need, like, more space in between sets from the time that we go back to specific planes. And I think that would just make it so much more enjoyable and so much better. So, yeah. Guys, that is it for 6 magic things that I want. Next time I'll bring up the tiara, okay? I don't have part 3 planned out. Also, this is just a really minor side note that doesn't really to anything, but I have been told by a coworker one time that I, like, slurp my tea. Yeah, truthfully, and now I can't undo it. I can't unsee it. I can't unhear it. And now every time I think, and she made me really insecure about it. Not like to be mean, but I was like, oh, I guess I do that. I didn't even realize I did that. But anyways, that is it for 6 magic things that I want. I really to know if there's any things that you want in magic, and maybe they'll be featured in part 3. I don't have part 3 planned out, but you know, maybe one day. So that is it for me in this video. If you guys like this video, go and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you in my next one.